seit dem ersten Mal, dass ich eigentlich hier war,
From the very first time I came here, I liked being here. The city sort of absorbs you, and the clash of the different cultural mentalities is omnipresent. I've actually spent most of my life here, and home is a bit of a tricky business anyway. You can feel at home by the sea or in the Alps, but in my case, it's people that are the most important.
Ich beschäftige mich mit
I work on Jewish book culture or Hebrew book culture in the Middle Ages. In manuscripts, materiality plays an important role, such as how the parchment absorbs the ink, how legible the writing is, how one can determine the layout of a page.
Einer Seite bestimmen kann. When
it's then joined by image culture, so where is the image? At the top, the bottom, framed, unframed, a little pen drawing, or an elaborate gold painting? These are all big differences, and these images speak to the reader in different ways, and these are things that are extremely interesting for historians studying iconography today.
Katrin Koogman-Appel is widely regarded as a world authority on the Jewish art history of the Middle Ages. By combining illumination with aspects of social and religious history, she expands art history into the sphere of cultural history. Born in Austria, Koogman-Appel has taught and conducted research in her adopted home of Israel for many years, most recently at Ben-Gurion University of the Negev. The National Library of Israel in Jerusalem is home to one of the most exciting testimonies to the Jewish diaspora in medieval Germany, the Worms Machzor of 1272. Machzor is the name for the cycle of prayers which were to be read out on Jewish holy days. The illuminations illustrate how the Jews grappled with Christian symbols and content, in some cases polemically, such as a new interpretation of the Jesse tree, the family tree of Jesus.
Here, the tree of life transmutes into a tree of persecution. In the name of Christianity, Jews are persecuted, and in this medallion at the top, Haman replaces the portrayal of Christ as the prototype of the persecutor. And this is the way I would claim that Jewish culture, or whoever commissioned the work for the Jews, grapples with these Christian visual contents. They are adopted, they are translated, they're reinterpreted, and then they're basically recreated again.
The pictorial representation allows inferences about how the Worms community saw itself as a separate cultural unity. Here, for example, the earliest written testament in Yiddish can be found, a blessing for the warden of the synagogue.
This sentence, which was inserted in the form of an initialism in the existing text, is a short rhyme.
Gut Tag im Betages, wer dies Machzor in Bet Knesset trage.
May a good day come to him who carries this prayer book into the synagogue.
Nowhere are questions relating to Jewish identity and iconography addressed more comprehensively than at the Israel Museum. Cultural artifacts from antiquity to the present day are held here, an important source for Koogman-Appel, who is particularly interested in how the emergence of printing changed illumination. But the museum does rather more than that.
As a researcher, I believe in cultural heritage in the public sphere, so I believe in the importance of preserving cultural heritage. And the Israel Museum is really a statement that precisely this culture of the diaspora is being preserved in Israel. In that sense, it's certainly a Jewish museum because it covers Israeli and Jewish identity, and not only how we look on ourselves in this geographical area or how we looked on ourselves in antiquity, but also how we're positioning ourselves in the world culture of today.
For more than 30 years, Katrin Koogman-Appel has been living with her family in Israel. By accepting the appointment to an Alexander von Humboldt professorship at the University of Münster, she will now transfer the focus of her life to Germany. Her adult children will stay at home in Israel. Koogman-Appel will be breaking new ground in Münster, founding a new Institute of Jewish Studies and adding her expertise to the Religion and Politics Cluster of Excellence.
Man freut sich natürlich auf, es ist eine Anerkennung.
Of course, it's very pleasing. It's a sign of recognition. The humanities are always somehow suspected of being in the ivory tower. And then when something like this happens, you realize that you are getting a response. And of course, in Germany, people are interested in it.
Das ist ja ein neues Programm.
It is a completely new program because there were no Jewish studies in Münster. And we have to see how we can position ourselves in this Jewish studies environment. And a focus will certainly be iconography and material culture. And other institutes may then define themselves more in terms of text culture.
Sich mehr als über die Textkultur definieren.
The aim is to conduct a broadly based research project to address the visual in the medieval Jewish culture of the written word, and to this end a research alliance is required with experts on the Northern European, Iberian and Italian cultural areas.
Wie kommt Visualität, wie kommt
How does visuality, how does beauty, how does pictorial representation, how does iconography find its way into the images in text culture?
Mit dem Bilderverbot.
For many years, Judaism was afflicted by the prohibition on making images. There are actually a whole host of disputes in which Jews in the 12th, 13th and 14th century addressed the issue of visuality. Here I think you can learn a great deal about the state or the significance of visuality in Jewish culture by studying the text.